Today I am explaining you ninth one. Explain Haversian system. Haversian system consists of a Haversian canal that runs parallel to the marrow cavity. It contains an artery, a vein, and a lymphatic vessel. Haversian system. Haversian system. Haversian system means the canals and the surrounding lamellae are called Haversian system. Osteon's units of bone consists of a Haversian canal that runs parallel to the marrow cavity means they are the elongated canals that run parallel to the marrow cavity of compact bones. It contains an artery. Artery means arteries take blood away from the heart. The main artery is aorta that branches into major arteries that take blood to different organs. A vein. A vein means veins are blood vessels that bring blood back to the heart. And a lymphatic vessel. Lymphatic vessel means lymphatic vessel are the fine tubes carrying the lymphatic fluid and white blood cell all through the lymphatic system. Which system? Haversian system consists of a which canal? Haversian canal that runs what parallel to the which cavity? Marrow cavity. It contains what? An artery, a vein, and a which vessel? Lymphatic vessel. Haversian system consists of a Haversian canal that runs parallel to the marrow cavity. It contains an artery, a vein, and a lymphatic vessel. Haversian canal is surrounded by concentric lamellae. Small fluid-filled spaces called lacunae provided with minute canaliculi lie in between the lamellae. Haversian canal is surrounded. Surrounded means to be all round by concentric lamellae. Means lamellae which are present around Haversian canal are called concentric lamellae. Small fluid filled spaces. Small fluid filled spaces means small fluid spaces in the bone are called lacunae. These spaces enclose osteocytes called lacunae. Means lacunae is a small space containing an osteocyte in bone. Provided with minute canaliculi. Canaliculi means the lacunae in the bone communicate with each other by a network of canals called canaliculi. Lie in between the lamellae. Lamellae means these are the concentric layers of bone or osteon. Which canal? Haversian canal is surrounded by which lamellae? Concentric lamellae. which filled spaces, small fluid filled spaces called what lacunae, provided with which canaliculi, minute canaliculi. Minute means small, lie in where between the lamellae. Haversian canal is surrounded by concentric lamellae. Small fluid filled spaces called lacunae, provided with minute canaliculi, lie in between the lamellae. Canaliculi connect the lacunae with one another and with Haversian canal. Each lacuna encloses one osteocyte. Canaliculi connect the lacunae with one another and with Haversian canal means canaliculi connects to adjacent lacunae for blood supply. Each lacuna encloses one osteocyte. One osteocyte means a lacuna never contains more than one osteocyte. Each lacuna contains one osteocyte. Major bone cells are known as osteocyte. Canaliculi connect the lacunae with one another and with Haversian canal. Each lacuna encloses one osteocyte. The cytoplasmic processes of osteocytes extend through canaliculi. A Haversian canal and the surrounding lamellae and lacunae are collectively called Haversian system or osteon. The cytoplasmic processes of osteocytes extend through canaliculi. Means the osteon is found in the compact bone skeletal system. A Haversian canal means Haversian systems contain a central canal, Haversian canal, that serves as a pathway for blood vessels. And the surrounding means all round lamellae. Lamellae means the matrix of the bone is in the form of concentric rings called lamellae. And lacunae means the bone cells, osteocytes, are located in spaces called lacunae, are collectively called Haversian system or osteon. Haversian system means it is the structural unit of a compact bone. The Haversian system are cylindrical structures of the bone or osteon. Means the microscopic structural unit of compact bone is called an osteon. The which processes cytoplasmic processes of what osteocytes extend through what canaliculi. A which canal, Haversian canal, and the which lamellae and lacunae surrounding lamellae and lacunae are collectively called which system? Haversian system or osteon. The cytoplasmic processes of osteocytes extend through canaliculi. A Haversian canal and the surrounding lamellae and lacunae are collectively called Haversian system or osteon. The Haversian canals communicate with one another with the periosteum and also with the marrow cavity by transverse or oblique canals called Volkmann's canals. Nutrients and gases diffuse from the vascular supply of Haversian canals. The Haversian canals communicate with one another, means it interconnects the Haversian canals with each other. Haversian canals are longitudinal canals that are arranged parallel to the long axis of the bone. With the periosteum. Periosteum is a membrane that covers the outer surfaces of all bones. And also with the marrow cavity. Marrow cavity means diaphysis of a long bone has a hollow cavity called marrow cavity. By transverse or oblique canals. Transverse or oblique canals means Volkmann's canals interconnects Haversian canals. Haversian canals are longitudinal canals that are arranged parallel to the long axis of the bone called Volkmann's canals. Volkmann's canals means Volkmann's canals is a small minute channels in the bone. They interconnect the Haversian canals with each other and the periosteum of the bone. Presence of Volkmann's canal is a characteristic feature of mammalian bone. Nutrients and gases diffuse from the vascular supply of Haversian canals, means the Volkmann's canals are responsible for providing energy and nourishment to osteons or Haversian system. It provides energy and nourishing elements for Haversian system osteon. I am explaining you 10th one. Write a short note on lymph. Lymph. Lymph is a colorless fluid. It lacks RBC, platelets and large plasma proteins but has more number of leukocytes. It is chiefly composed of plasma and lymphocytes. Lymph is a colorless fluid, means lymph is the part of the lymphatic system which is a colorless watery fluid which contains lymphocytes. It lacks RBC, means they are colorless because they lack red blood cell. RBC is absent. Platelets. Platelets means these are colorless non-nucleated round. They are formed from gain megakaryocytes produced in the red bone marrow by fragmentation. And large plasma proteins. Large plasma proteins means plasma proteins include albumins, globulins and blood clotting proteins such as fibrinogen, prothrombin and anticoagulant, heparin, all of which are produced by the liver but has more number of leukocytes, means these are nucleate, colorless, complete cells. They are spherical or irregular in shape and are capable of exhibiting amoeboid movement into the extravascular areas by diapedices. It is chiefly composed of plasma. Plasma means it is a fluid matrix of blood. It consists of 92% of water and lymphocytes. Lymphocytes means they constitute about 30% of the leukocytes. They are small spherical cells with large spherical nucleus. Lymph is a which fluid? Colorless fluid. It lacks what? RBC, platelets, and which proteins? Large plasma proteins, but has how many number of leukocytes? More number of leukocytes. It is chiefly composed of what? Plasma and lymphocytes. Lymph is a colorless fluid. It lacks RBC, platelets and large plasma proteins but has more number of leukocytes. It is chiefly composed of plasma and lymphocytes. The most important site of formation of lymph is interstitial space. As blood passes through blood capillaries, some portion of blood that includes water, solutes and proteins of low molecular weight passes through the walls of capillaries into the interstitial spaces due to hydrostatic pressure at the arteriolar ends. This fluid forms the interstitial fluid. Most of the interstitial fluid is returned directly to the capillaries, but a little amount of this fluid passes through a system of lymphatic capillaries, vessels, ducts, and finally reach the blood through the subclavian veins. The most important means necessary. Site refers to particular place of formation. Formation means process of being formed. Of lymph. Lymph means lymph is clear to white fluid made of white blood cells. Is interstitial space means interstitial space refers to the fluid filled spaces between blood vessels, while the interstitial fluid is the fluid that fills interstitial space. So the interstitial fluid is a type of extracellular fluid. It is also known as tissue fluid. As blood passes through blood capillaries, means capillaries are delicate blood vessels and these capillaries rejoin to form vein. A small veins receive blood from capillaries. All these venules join to form vein. Some portion of blood that includes water, solutes and proteins of low molecular weight passes through the walls of capillaries. Some portion of blood means components of blood that includes water. Water means lymph from Latin word lympha, water, is the fluid that flows through the lymphatic system. Solutes means the solute appears in the form of lymph. And proteins of low molecular weight means lymph contains relatively less of the larger proteins compared to plasma, suggesting that molecular weight is important in lymph filtration. Passes through the walls of capillaries means the capillary wall is a one-layer tissue so thin that water and other items, solutes, proteins of low molecular weight can passes through the walls of capillaries into the interstitial spaces due to hydrostatic pressure at the arteriolar ends. Means hydrostatic pressure increases the rate of flow within the lymphatic system also increases. This fluid forms the interstitial fluid. Interstitial fluid means interstitial fluid is part of the extracellular fluid between the cells. Tissue fluid is also known as interstitial fluid. Guys, if you like my video, please click like and subscribe to my Easy Learning channel.